everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of the Grateful Grieving podcast. And I'm Betsy Furler. Please follow us on both Instagram and here on YouTube under Grateful Grieving. And I'm here with my friend Katherine Dain. Hey, Kat, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, Betsy. How are you doing today?
I'm good. So we were talking on the phone right before we started this, and we decided to record with our AirPods. So we've got our AirPods, so we'll see how the
Yes.
audio sounds. And I told Katherine, okay, I'm gonna go back and get on my computer. I've got my tea, I've got my AirPods, and then I got in here with no AirPods. So I had to go back because I totally forgot the one thing I went in there for. So
See, that's a normal
anyway.
everyday. That's a normal occurrence for me. I'm always going back to get something. Like if I get out of the door, out of the house on time, I will have forgotten several things. I'll,
Yeah, it's
if I
just
remember
life.
everything, I'm going to be late.
Yeah,
It's just a,
yeah, it's life.
and
I think grief
yeah,
can make it worse, but
I
you
think
know,
so because you're distracted and you have so many other things on your mind. Like today, so one of my friends, her grandmother passed away and she's elderly and has been sick for a while. So I just went and visited with them for a little bit. And I think one of the things about grieving, the telling of stories and how I think years ago I used to think that getting together with people to talk about grief meant we were crying the whole time and we had to be sad the whole time. And that's not what my grieving is. My grieving is laughter and crying and laughter and crying.
hmm
And while I didn't know my friend's grandmother very well, I did meet her one time when we kidnapped her and brought her home for a visit. And that's a story
You
for another
kidnapped the
time.
grandmother.
We
You kidnapped
did.
the grandmother.
We literally kidnapped the grandmother and with her permission, she allowed us to kidnap her. Although I don't think she really knew that we were technically kidnapping. Um, and really, it wasn't a technically kidnapping, but it was. Anyway, but that's like that is a memory that I have that we were able to share today that my friend's mother had forgotten that we had done that. And it was just a few years ago. And so getting to just spend a little bit of time with people when you're grieving, whether you laugh or cry, it doesn't matter. All of it's important.
That's right after Henry died. So many people sent me memories of Henry, photos of Henry I'd never seen, stories about Henry, and they still do. Of course, it's slowed down tremendously. It's been
Right.
almost 5 years, but um that was so fun. Even when I was in so much grief right after his death, it was
Right.
so much fun to hear those memories that other people had of him and how
Right.
he impacted other people's lives so
I,
dramatically.
I had somebody say to me one time, they had suffered a loss and they said it's hard when people send you things. And I think her her grief was still so strong that she was just having a hard time accepting that nobody sends you something mean in grief, right?
Right.
Um, you might not be ready to accept it, but I think, always remember that when somebody does or says something, they mean well. So whether they flub through it or it's not the right time, or you know what I mean? Like, always take
I
it
totally agree.
in the way
Yes.
that it's
Yes.
presented, which is because I think back over the years where I've had to say something to somebody, and then when I went through my own loss, I thought I have said things to people sometimes that I think probably were insensitive, meaning well, but not fully understanding what I was saying. And I think until you go through that grief, you just don't know, do you?
I totally agree. And I think that I would rather have someone say something and it and
Yes,
then not know if it's the perfect thing to say
right,
as opposed to not saying anything at all.
right.
But
Right.
I think one of the most awkward times are when you see somebody that you haven't seen since your loved one passed away, and they don't know what to say to you. And
Right.
believe it or not, that still occasionally happens to me all these years later.
It, me too,
And
because you're at almost at 5 years. I'm at 3.5 years. And I'm still running both with business and in socially in town. I'm still running into people and they do that. They go, "How are you?" I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm good." Do I want to say,
like,
well,
what part of
okay,
my life do you want to
so
hear about?
this is the hard part. So they are like, "How are you?" "Oh, I'm good. Like I've completely recovered from losing my husband. I'm now dating somebody and that's going
Uh-huh.
really well." Like that's just a weird, awkward conversation to have. Um,
And it's
be-
awkward for them because they haven't made
yes,
the same they haven't healed in the same way on the same trajectory
right.
as we might have, even though it's a so much bigger of a loss for us. I always say I have the privilege of being the mom who lost the child because you have way more way more grace is given from people when it's
Yes,
your child or your husband or your spouse.
yes,
And when it's a friend or a cousin or something, people people don't feel the grace to be able to fully live their grief. And then I think then they don't move forward with it.
yes, yes. I struggle a little bit um with moving forward in a relationship, but not wanting to leave my husband behind, but that's part of my past now. So
Right.
it it's I don't know, it's weird. It's different. If there's nothing wrong, it's just different. So
Yeah. I think that, my situation's different because it's my child, but I
right.
did then subsequently divorce his father. Um, but I think Henry Angel is super happy about me dating.
I think Daniel sent me to this one for sure.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
I think so
absolutely.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, there were too many signs there. There were too many signs of how Daniel and I met and how we got together and then the life that we built. And then as I was, what am I doing now? Um, Ended up at this point where I am right now. It, I mean, God had a hand in it. It was,
Absolutely. Yeah, Katherine and I have been making a list of things we want to talk about, and
and then I
one of the ones
completely
that I didn't tell her about, yeah, Katherine remembered and then forgot and then remembered and then texted it to me. So, but one of the things I wrote down today, when I was on my walk, was to talk about signs,
Yeah,
about the signs. And I know a lot of people get signs from loved ones. Some people get a lot of signs. Some people don't get as many. Some people don't see them. I see a lot of signs, lots and lots of signs from my Henry. And on another show, we'll have to talk about how that all started. But one of the signs he sends me is a monarch butterfly. And he's been, my Henry Angel is very persistent. He is very persistent Earth Henry as well. And he sends me monarch butterflies in either in real life form or in an image form every day and has for almost 5 years now. I can't believe that he's been able to continue this. Um,
because isn't
so
it interesting? Because in general, like I don't see butterflies very often, but specifically, I see them now and with you and Henry in mind every
yeah, and
time.
I'm sure
Yeah.
he's coming to check on you because Henry Angel is happy to take on anybody
Yes.
who wants him. Um, so the other day I had a friend come over and as they were leaving and we were standing on the front porch kind of talking and saying goodbye and I said, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that Katherine and I are doing this podcast now." And I started talking about it and right as I was talking about it a monarch butterfly came flying by in and
Oh,
out.
yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, hey, Henry, I guess you're good with this.
Yes.
Um, and we both acknowledged the monarch and that Henry, that Henry had come by. So, and
Right.
then this morning, so it's December when we're recording this. And so this morning and yesterday it was really windy. Um, and my friend was like, "Wow, yeah, Henry is really good about flying against the wind." It's like, I
Yeah.
know, right? Um, and this morning we're about to have a storm, and this morning on my walk I saw a monarch as well. So
And
he's
it's
always
December,
there.
so it's interesting that, like, do we have butterflies all year round?
I don't think they're supposed to be here.
I mean, I I could Google this. I know I don't like to Google. I like to ask the question out loud and then have somebody else look it up for me or tell me. I'll Google if I'm by myself, but
I think that we're not really supposed to have butterflies all year round, especially not when it's windy and cold. And somebody
right.
asked me the other day, well, what do you plant in your garden to attract the butterflies? I'm like, you obviously don't know me very well because just as if like I don't cook that much, I also don't grow anything. I'm such a good dog mom and a good people mommy, but I'm a terrible plant mommy.
Oh, I'm a
So
terrible plants don't do well with me either.
no, so I don't have plants to attract the butterflies. Now we used to have milkweed a long time ago, but I've killed that so long ago. I don't think you're
Um,
supposed to be able to kill it, but mine's
well,
gone. So,
I have a purple martin house in my backyard that the sparrows and the swallows have taken over. I think mostly the sparrows, so I failed there. I have hummingbird feeders that, because of the humidity down here, they get the water gets moldy really fast, and my
yeah,
hummingbirds get really annoyed with me because I don't keep it fresh daily because I can't keep up with doing that every day. Um,
right.
but everybody else that has hummingbirds, they're beautiful and they come in, 10 or 15 of them. I get one who shoots me a look like, yeah, this is terrible. Could you fix this? Otherwise, we're not coming back.
Although I will say at your house I have seen monarch butterflies. Well,
Yes,
because,
yes,
Henry.
yes.
So,
And of course, he visits when you're here too. Yes. Because I don't see them. I see other butterflies a lot. Only see the monarchs once in a while, and it generally is specifically when you and I are doing something.
yeah, so signs. I mean, I think there are so many different. Henry comes as a butterfly primarily, but he also sends me other weird signs. For a while, I was getting dimes, just finding dimes on the street and other places. Um, and a lot of dimes because again, he's very extra.
Right.
So he's like, it's me, it's me, it's me. Um, so have you gotten what do you get? You more have a feeling around Daniel though, right? As opposed to like visual signs.
Yes, mine's more feeling. I don't do the visual signs as much. I'll sense that he's close or sense that he's talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I often, because we worked together. So, for the last 10 years, definitely of our marriage, we were so in sync with working together that I didn't, he and I didn't have a thought that the other one didn't have a part of. So
Mm-hmm.
in losing him, that was really hard for me not to have. It was like I lost half my brain, because wasn't used to making any decisions without both of us saying, okay, what do we think? The pros and the cons. And so now I talk to him a lot like, okay, what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
what is going on with this situation? And I have to talk it out loud. And then if I have somebody to bounce it off of, they can listen and go, okay, well, have you thought about this? And so I will generally sense, okay, I need to get some help with this. I have a list of people I talk to. Um, but they're all people that he put in my path for a reason. Um,
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that then you get an idea of like something pops into your head, like, oh, this is what I need to do or
yeah.
whatever.
It,
Um,
we had decided a long time ago in our marriage that we were we were not going to nurture relationships that didn't help make us better. Like the same with our marriage. We wanted to make each other better, but in our friendships and work relationships, we also wanted to be with people who made us better. So in losing him, I have this network both at work and in my social life of an amazing group of people that want what's best for me. And that has made, I think, all the difference for me. So I don't know
mhm.
if that's a sign or a feeling or, really what it is. I think we built a good foundation. And that's how I've been able to, when people say, oh gosh, you're so strong, I'm not really. I have breakdowns all the time. Um, but because I have such a good support group, I don't rely on any one person. I have kind of different people.
Mhm.
You and I have had
Me too.
so
Yeah.
many conversations over the last 4 or 5 years, right? But
Yes.
we don't rely on each other every single time.
Right. And I think that's the key. I think because you don't want to burn out your support people. And at the
Right.
same time, sometimes you need a different viewpoint. Having different viewpoints are so helpful. And
Yes.
you need sometimes in the moment somebody's there that's so supportive. I know I have such a big support network and did from the very beginning. Um
Yes.
and the I felt that support prior to Henry's death, but I really felt it after Henry's death. And um so many people just have come in and helped me out with so many different things and then also listened to me. But you're right. I mean, it's like you need multiple people. And I think both of us, we're both strong people for sure.
Right.
But we also, part of our strength comes from the fact that we can move forward with this.
Well,
We're not leaving
one,
them behind.
right.
We're not
Right.
moving past it, but we're taking it with us and moving forward.
Well, and when I say this next phrase, I mean it in the kind of the best of ways, but life goes on and nobody cares. And I don't mean that people don't care about us. What I mean is I lost my husband, but my company still had to run. We still have to
Right.
feed people. I still have people that I'm responsible for making sure they have their paychecks every 2 weeks. Like they are, yes, they care about me and they're so sad my husband passed away, but they still have bills to pay. They still have mouths to feed. So life doesn't stop when we lose someone. We have to keep going. And I know that's I think one of the things that um I don't know that it delayed, or I think that first year after Daniel died was tough for me because I didn't have a choice but to go in and take care of the business. It made me keep going.
Yes. And Sam, in my
Eh,
situation, Sam, my younger son,
Yes.
was that for me. Um,
Yes.
Also work, because
Yes.
I still had a mortgage to pay and bills to pay and all that kind of thing.
Right.
But also for Sam, it was really important for me to continue to be there for Sam because
That
he is still on this earth and it's important for
yes.
me to be able to be there for
Yes.
him.
We can't get caught up in that loss. And I know that some people do, and there's, a million reasons why people do. But for me, I can't stay with that loss. I have to move forward, and the people that we have here, it's so important.
Right,
Um,
right. And everyone here is so important too. I think
yeah.
that's the other thing. The other thing I wanted to talk about on this episode, Katherine, was I have been on this cleaning, decluttering spree, and I get on this about
Oh,
once a year. I've been
yep.
in my house for almost 26 years, and when I moved in, I moved from a house that was half the size of this house, and so we doubled our space, and we like very quickly filled the space as you do. And
Yes.
I said, you know what? I'm going to be in this house for a long time and I'm going to declutter every year like I'm moving out of the house. So, like, you know, cutthroat. If you don't spark joy, you're out.
Yes.
So it always kind of scared my kids a little bit. They always joked and were like, "Don't
Everybody,
stop moving. Mom's going to
right?
donate you to Goodwill." So,
That's my house too.
um, so I'm on this cleaning thing now, this decluttering thing, and I found this. I have these fabric boxes that have zippered lids, like storage containers. They're
Yes,
awesome. And so I had one with a bunch of Henry's clothes. It's kind of small-ish, but it had some
right.
special clothes in it and his shoes and um his ties because he loved those Vineyard Vines ties and he had bow ties and
Oh,
regular ties.
yes, he
So
did.
those
Yes.
ties and so the zipper had broken. I mean, like, 6, 12 months ago. And but I didn't have another one of those things handy, so I just kind of had it stuffed in this closet. And I've been working on that closet. And I'm like, you know what? I need to get a different one of those bags, storage bags to put those things in. So I had just emptied out one because I decluttered a bunch of stuff. So I got that out. And when I started moving the stuff and it got close to my face, I smelled Henry. And
Oh,
I just buried my face in
yeah.
his clothes. I kept some clothes out from his dirty clothes after he died so I could have this smell. But I didn't ever imagine that almost 5 years later, kept in a fabric container, that those clothes would still smell like him.
Wow.
And I was just both kind of sad, it brought back
Yeah.
the loss and the hole from him, but it also brought back so many great memories. And he did fencing at Houston Sword Sports, and his vest from that was in there. And then his work shirt, he worked at an escape room called Loctopia, and he loved working there. And that was in there, the polo from that, and some Boy Scout clothes and a Geoforce. He did this program called Geoforce through the University of Texas, and he loved it. And just these things that he loved that still smell like him. And so, of course, I didn't get rid of anything in that box, right?
Right.
And I started thinking about, we touched on it during another episode on how hard it is to get rid of things.
Right.
And so I thought, maybe we would talk a little bit about that. I did get rid of a few more of his books in this declutter. My
Okay.
friend Lisa Woodruff says you can only get rid of 20, I think she says 20% of stuff at a time, whether it's your stuff or somebody else's stuff. Once you get past the 20%, it's very overwhelming. And
Yes.
I've kind of
Okay.
taken her advice over these years and gotten rid of like a little bit of Henry's things at a time.
Okay.
So how have you handled that? Because it's a hard thing. And we can also
Oh.
talk about our parents' stuff.
Oh, so I think, oh, let's go. Let me backtrack. Because my Daniel was a pack rat. His parents were pack rats. My parents, when we started cleaning out the pantries of expired stuff because my mother kept everything. And but my dad, when he passed away, which was before Daniel, we went up to the house and he had a 4-car garage and there was an attic area up in the garage. And he had saved every single box that had ever shown up. I mean, there were probably 40-year-old boxes up there. And
Wow.
and we had to go through all of that stuff. He like little containers, he kept stuff. And that's part of that generation too, right? They reused
Mm-hmm.
everything. So little pill bottles with things written on there of what it was. We found boxes upon boxes, and this was kind of silly, but boxes upon boxes of Christmas ornaments. But we got to very immaturely and inappropriately giggling because the first box we found said blue balls on it, and it was blue Christmas balls. Well, that got us going. Well, then we
Uh-huh.
found the box of more balls, and then lots of balls and purple balls. And like it just became every time we turned around, we're like, okay, what kind of balls are these going to be? And my dad would have had no idea That was a
Right.
funny thing to him. He was just labeling them for the Christmas ornaments, but so that took us a while to really sort through that. And I had taken a couple of young girls that were working for me at the time with us, uh, uh, Harmony and Mac, and then with my sister Lynn. And, we spent 5 days just going through things, um,
Hmm.
planing out, telling stories. We burned stuff that, like all those boxes, like we just need to burn them. So we had a great big trash pile, which my dad would have loved because he loved a bonfire. And the girls drove the tractor, and like just everything that we did. In looking back on it, not only do I have a memory of my dad, but now I have a memory of that week with my sister Lynn and Harmony and Mackenzie, and the four of us. In fact, at that time, Mackenzie was trying to finish a math class online, and she had to stop working, and she had to take her test in the middle of what we were doing. So we're going around cleaning, and she's trying to figure out her math test. Like, it just was a neat, fun memory. So, but what it did really do for me is say, when I die, I don't want to have all this stuff laying around that other people are going to have to clean up. So
Right.
I've
Right.
been decluttering, um, as I go. Of course, I still have a ton of stuff. I have way too much stuff.
Well, my mother is still alive. She's 90. But my dad passed away 9 years ago, and he was the collector in the family.
Yeah,
And so, but my mom is such a minimalist. And so after he died, and she made the decision to move here to Houston to be closer to me in a
right,
one bedroom apartment. So she went from like, I don't know, their house was like, I don't like 3,400 square feet or something into this one bedroom apartment. Obviously, she had to get rid of a lot of stuff, and she did an amazing job. And I would go to help her, and as soon as I got there, she would have everything like totally have organized and done. Um, and she was 81 at the time, but I also had great memories doing that with my mom because
right,
before my dad died, I'm the second child. And so before my dad died, I really never spent a lot of time with just me and my mother, just the two
right.
of us.
Because
There
it
was
was always
always
the three
someone
of you,
there. Right. There was either my dad there, my sister
or
there,
your sister.
or
Yeah,
then when I had my kids there. And this was a time when I went there by myself. She was living alone. And I mean, now we spend a ton of time together with just the two of us, but that was the first of it. And it was great to go through everything. And then because she was moving to such a small place, I did things like I took every photo out of a frame. I took everything out of the frames,
right,
the diplomas, the photos, everything. And then I went through them all with her and we labeled them all. And so I actually know who the photos are if she knew.
right.
But there were things like things from my grandparents that had never been gone through or gotten rid of.
And and we're getting to that point now. You see it in old family china and glassware, and like, are people keeping that? Like, I did not use my china at Thanksgiving this year.
Yeah, and
Um,
nobody wants it.
and
Like,
no, I have beautiful china, but I don't want to mess with cleaning it.
right.
It it's a lot of work, and
Mm-hmm.
I want to enjoy my day. I still remember my mother telling me one time, Katherine, what did she say? I would rather use tarnished silver than paper plates and plasticware. And I said, Mother, I would rather have a good time and not spend my entire time cleaning and then be mad
Yeah.
because
Washing
I
everything and
I have
yeah.
to wash and clean everything. And so, like, definitely the way we do things is different today. And what do we do with all that stuff?
Right.
Um,
Right. Yeah, so I mean, I'm pretty lucky in that my mom already went through all of her stuff.
yes,
So when we do have a little storage room, but it's very small. And then she has the things that she has in her little apartment. But
right.
like I said, I mean, I'm a pretty ruthless declutterer. And it's still been hard with Henry's stuff. I've got him down to, I probably have, I don't know, 12 boxes of his stuff still, which is too much, but it's a huge improvement over
Yeah.
what we started with, because Henry was also a collector. So
So is
there's
Daniel.
some of those things that are true collectible items that I need to figure out how to sell, and that also seems like a big emotional lift.
Well, like I had the hide of a coyote. Like, who needs a coyote
What do
hide?
you do with that?
What?
Right.
And I tried to give it away to a 15-year-old, and his parents said if I gave him any more stuff, they would no longer be my friends. So I had to stop giving their son stuff. Um, but like my housekeeper finally took it, the hide, because
Oh, good.
I didn't want to throw it
I
away. There's something about it I
right.
couldn't throw it away. Um, but I didn't want to
But
give it
then
to
who knows if
Goodwill.
Goodwill will even take it.
I know. Do
Right.
they take coyote hides? Like, and it's not like you could do any. So it hung in my garage for a long time. Freak people out every once in a while because it you would think it was something that was alive there. But yeah, what do you do? Like you feel like you're disrespecting your loved one if you throw stuff away. I think
Especially when it's
everybody
something that
feels that.
they love. You know, if they love something, then it
Um,
feels like, okay, I need to love this
so,
too, or I need to give it to someone who loves it. So I did have some of Henry's friends come look through his stuff after he
yep,
died
yep.
and take some stuff. But yeah, that's and then I think too, when you go through the stuff, you definitely relive grief. I think, you know, the I grief to me is just such a roller coaster and a cycle.
Right,
And
right.
you know, you're like, okay, I'm doing really well. Oh, wait, now I've got to go through this stuff. And you might be going along just fine. And then all of a sudden you see some, you know, something with their handwriting on it, or just some random thing that suddenly sparks something. And
And
you,
you and I are at an interesting point now because you're almost 5 years. I'm over, getting closer to 4 years. And people, do we think are you okay now? Like this is an awkward time because should we be fine or should we, like, how long do we
right.
carry this where, I don't know, that does that make sense? That's,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
I think we're doing fine though, Catherine. I think we're
you
both
mean
doing
as
great.
freaking fine as I ever am? Like
Yeah.
my life is chaos anyway.
So, and I think that's a good note to end on, because we're trying to make these around 30 minutes so we don't bore you people that are listening. And are so
And
grateful for our
very
listeners.
appreciative. Yes.
And please, again, follow, and I think I'm supposed to say subscribe to our YouTube channel, Grateful
Yes.
Grieving, and also follow our Instagram, Grateful Grieving. And we would love to hear about your grief stories and about your loved ones. So please share that with us.
Yes. Thank you.
And we will see everyone soon. Bye.